So you said something there, Maletjema, about, especially with regards to your book reviews. Is something that perhaps you have started it as a hobby, you love reading and everything like that, but turning a hobby into like an income generation, or even into a business or an entrepreneurial thought, is amazing. And how do we actually get into that momentum and be like, okay, in fact, I can turn this into something that, can actually be very much, or how was the process for you? How did you get to that point where you're like, actually this book review thing, because it's a big thing and no one is actually doing it, especially in this part of the world. And it's something that, of course, through time and that kind of investment in it and everything like that, you can actually have that kind of influence bigger. And so how do we tap into that?
So I think that the most important thing, when you're sitting, nothing will come to you.
Sure.
All right. So sometimes it may be difficult to just start, like, I want to make money from it. I'm getting into it with just the money. You know what I'm saying? Grow what you love. That's my thing. So I remember what actually pushed me to getting into this, when I read the book and then they fired me. The guy was like, focus on doing the things that make you happy.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've been reading books for so many years and this is what I love to do, So let me just put myself out there and do what I love to do what comes naturally, what makes me happy, And then the moment you're out there, so many people bring so many ideas. They'll be like, oh no, I want to collaborate with you. Oh, can you please do this for me? So immediately, that's why I say, when you sit in, nothing happens. Put yourself out there. Put your interests out there. If you want to be a chef, put your cooking out there, collaborate with other people. If you are into investing or whatever it is, it doesn't have to be, these hobbies that are like just general. But even if you're interested in those high impact interests, pursue those. If you're into leadership, go into the leadership space. Learn about it. Put yourself out there, and other people will meet you within what you like, and they will help you actually like put it forward and learn how to make money from it as well. So that's my perspective. Put yourself out there.
Yeah, very profound. And I like what you said about doing what you love, because it's not only a business thing, but it even extends to careers. You get what I'm saying? And I always tell people to say, if you do something that you really love and you're passionate about, what is your career, especially on careers? Because in most cases as Black students, because of the misinformation that we get when we're still in high school, you find that perhaps sometimes we choose careers based on the monetary or the financial aspect of it, because this is accounting, it pays so much and everything like that. And I'm having people now that they can't look forward for Monday. They hate Monday because they have to go to work. You get what I'm saying? Because they do not. Maybe they have come to the realization that they don't love what they do, but they are there. You get what I'm saying? So you should never work a day in your life, and that's when you do something that you're very passionate about, because it's in you. Is part of you. So that is that was very.
And I also think.
Sure.
So I also think another thing, when you are getting into the working space, there's so much to be learned at the same time. You understand what I mean? So sometimes you may not be able to fully do what you love and make money from it at that point in time. But whatever career that you're in, you're learning from it, you're growing, you're meeting different people who can help you with your ideas, who can be your clientele, also use that professional space that you're in to gain, to gain skills, to gain networks. At the same time, you are working on your interests, use your job and also use some of the money that you get there to finance your interests. It's just growing yourself in general, And finally, when you get to do that to a point where it's making you more money, you're not going to leave like, I'm so done, I'm so over with them. But they actually can now help you in terms of growing that business that you have now. That's one of the principles that I learned from, and then they fired me because all these people that he worked with, all those years, even if they fired him and everything else, they were able to now come into his company, work with him, and use all those skills that he was using at that company to build his own and grow.
Sure.
You understand?
Sure.
So let's use whatever we have, you know?
Yeah, no, I'm absorbing all the wisdom on a Sunday. Sure. A quick analysis from you on the state of entrepreneurship in South Africa at the moment.
The state of entrepreneurship. I think I was listening to Maletjema Mathiba actually quite recently to say it's very slow, you know, compared to how China is doing things, you know.
Sure.
It's easy to come up with an idea, get funding, and get things running. You know what I'm saying? But we are not at that space as yet. The channels are not operating, like they're not taking us as further as we could go. You know what I'm saying? Everything is so slow. There aren't many places to go and actually, as an entrepreneur, get so much help that you'd be able to just run, you know, by yourself. There's a lot of input that you have to do by yourself. So it's quite difficult, the entrepreneurial space. So when you go into it in the South African context, you have to be like, I got me, and I'm going to work so hard. I'm going to get every connection that I need, you know. I'm going to get different contracts. It's going to be on me. So it's very much like you're on your own type of thing, you know. So which I think it doesn't have to be that way. Yeah. So the state of entrepreneurship can improve.
Do you think that maybe there isn't much support, you know, and there isn't much systems that sort of propagate this? Because I had a conversation with one of my Nigerian classmates, and he was telling me that in their side, like it's more like a culture. Even in the education system, they do have some entrepreneurial subjects and all of those kind of things. And in the South African space, I feel like we don't have too much support, be it from government, even those agencies that are supposed to. Do we even have an agency that is supposed to actually, okay, we have the Department of Small Business Enterprises, but I don't think it's doing enough and everything like that. On the education side, we're far away. We don't even have in the schooling system subjects that are very entrepreneurial in their own nature. So in the systems of things, what do you think we're lacking there?
I think entrepreneurship should be something that is normal.
Sure.
You know, because when you read about so many different, you know, countries and how, you know, it's normal for the family to have a business.
Yeah.
You know, the culture that is already there within that particular country. So I think it needs to be cultivated, you know, because now we praise people who are professionals. Around us, we have professionals. So who would want to be an entrepreneur when you are surrounded by people who are only professionals? You know what I'm saying? And it does go back to the schooling system as well, to say this is not taught. But I think even beyond that, as family, you know, as individuals, we should be taking it on ourselves. You know, because we know it's going to take a long time for the government to have such processes in place, but we have to be taking it upon ourselves to teach those skills to our children. You know, let them sell something, learn how to sell. Selling is a skill that everyone should have, regardless of whether you're an entrepreneur or not. It should be normal. You know, normalized. It's incredible to have it in schooling systems, you know, where it's propelled and it's praised and it's actually excelling. I think one of the things that causes it not to be effective is because how many people start businesses and they don't thrive? I mean, those that are around us a lot compared to those that actually thrive. You know, so it doesn't become an attractive space because it's not thriving, it's not supported. There's a huge breakdown in terms of getting to that point. Of entrepreneurship.
So I think in your in the Alan Gray Foundation that you actually participated in, I think that is in your heart. One of the exposures that you were exposed to was the Kasi businesses, you know, the township businesses and everything. And there's much to talk about there. Even the township economy is something to really delve into. What's your thoughts there? from those experiences in Allen Gray?
I think there are huge opportunities. As I said, that the opportunities are around us,
Sure.
solving everyday problems. So in that space where we were exposed to, a simple thing like teaching people computers.
Yeah.
I remember, I think we went to this one business in Maletjema when we were in Cape Town for the Jamboree, which is like an annual entrepreneurial event for
Sure.
Opus Foundation. So we went to Maletjema. It's a simple thing like teaching people computers, but that person had branches in different villages. Isingi in town, in different villages, and he was, I think he made like millions, if not hundreds of thousands of rands.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? So the Kasi economy is huge. We are looking at, top notch, only the cream, but it's amongst us. These opportunities amongst us. That's why now we are having malls being brought to the townships, because there is money to be made.
Sure.
So I think now the main challenge with that is that finding finances for those type of ideas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That can be difficult, but that's where things like Woody Stockfell, people have Stockfells nowadays, where they come together. Let's learn about investing. I can come to you to ask you to invest into my company. We don't only have to invest in JSE listed companies. Let's now grow each other. You know what I'm saying? I'm having this idea. Call the 10 people that you know. Tell them that, I want them to move forward. Let them invest. So I think we really have to change the way we think about growing businesses and the way we invest our money as well. Because it's all good and well to invest in the JSEs and all that. They'll continue to be big. But what about the small businesses that will take years, and those that actually belong to our people, So I think there's a huge gap in that. Let's work among ourselves. Let's empower each other, let's grow each other, let's work together, So I think that's one of the things that I think are gonna propel us forward.
Yeah, the unity of things and the unity of us. But we're gonna talk about this some other day, Maletjema, because the issue of unity is a big issue in the Black space or within Black people, and it's something that we fail to do. And I've been analyzing it over the years to be like, what is it that makes us not to be able to unite? And one day when we have time, I think we need to go and delve into that. One of the questions that was asked on Facebook when I posted that I'm going to be having you for Converse Scripted was from King Ephraim. He asked a very beautiful question here. Your analysis on the future of jobs and business opportunities, especially looking in the situation that we are in of the pandemic and obviously the economy dwindling as the way it's dwindling. So a lot of things are going to be, especially jobs, especially now people are losing jobs. And on top of that, we also have the whole phenomenon of fourth industrial revolution, which is also a talk of town. And people are also, we had some companies like the Standard Bank, McDonald's, introducing some new automation that we've seen with that people losing their jobs. So King Ephraim is asking here your analysis on the future of jobs and the future of business opportunities from now moving forward. A great question indeed.
So yeah, let me bring.
Sure.
So I think it has been very clear that a lot of jobs are being lost, given the current COVID-19 situation and how businesses are not able to pay other businesses for services that are provided. So how can they pay their own employees? And they actually realize they can function on a lower number of employees. And we have companies where they're making constant losses, like SAAs, which will just break your heart. And it's coming to a point where a lot of jobs are actually being lost. So I think given the COVID situation, more jobs are going to be lost because there is a huge inability to pay by a lot of people. Most people can't meet their bonds, the normal everyday utilities. So if there's less money being put in, what will businesses pay? their employees, you know. So it's not like businesses are just being ruthless. They also can't meet certain obligations. You know? And the best way for the company to survive is to actually get people, you know, to be
retrenched.
You know? So it is also, it's heartbreaking, but it's the reality of the matter that some of them, they are not coping, and this is their best strategy, you know. So I think also for businesses as well, it's going to be quite a difficult period, given the businesses that were already, you know, operating and in certain conventional ways, you know, they may not be able to continue, you know, to operate in that space. I mean, if you're selling a luxury brand, currently people are just trying to meet basic needs. You know, so me going to buy a, you know, an expensive brand, like why That's, you know, so obviously those will close, but I think it's also we also have to take it as an opportunity to now learn, you know. Now fourth industrial revolution is here. Do we know how to cope? You know, do we know what is going on in that space? Let's learn to study at the same time, you know. So if you can invest some of the time to learn the skills and also navigate the business space into where can I come in, you know. Maybe if you're unemployed, use the skills that you got from the job, that you got from your degree, in order to solve a problem that is already existing. So I think for people who are unemployed, it's an opportunity to grow. For businesses, it's an opportunity to also restructure, because there's no running away from technology. We all have to live up to the speed. We all have to improve ourselves. We can't just complain. It's not going to stop. You know, it's not going to stop it from improving. So if we can take lessons from some of the countries like China, some of the countries with better, you know, which their economies have changed and improved over the years, then we can see it's not about just staying in the same place, but as the world is changing, we are also changing ourselves to provide relevant services, you know. So I think that's how we can take it up to say, I will not stay in the same position. I see I can learn, I can improve myself. Let me improve myself in 1, 2, 3 to actually propel forward and keep moving forward. The worst thing you can do is to stay stagnant and feel sorry for yourself. Find other jobs, improve your skills, improve yourself, find businesses, network, you know. So the worst thing you can do during this period is just to stay and say,
I like that, like the part of improving ourselves, because I think what I've seen when I've been studying especially even the previous depressions, I mean, or the recessions that have happened over time. And also when you look at the revolutions of the Industrial Revolution, the first, the second, the third, now we're talking about the fourth, and the countries and the people that have actually done well in all of those kind of, you know, dwindles and going up and down, the fluctuation of the economy, is that they were able to upskill themselves and align themselves with the economy at the time. With the first Industrial Revolution, people did that. The people that were successful at the time, they did that. The second as well, they aligned themselves with that. And also the third and now the fourth, we see that now the tech. Now, if you look into the richest, you know, 500 Forbes, Fortune 500, is the tech businesses that are actually dominating there. And it makes sense because of the revolution that we're in. So I think what you said there is also very much profound, to say that people should upskill, you know, and should align ourselves to these economical changes and everything like that. Very profound.